Saluton, parolas Tomaso. Hi, everybody. Here we are again. Yep, the plan today is to try to get through some notifications that I have about questions and comments from the Duolingo forum. I have made it a habit to follow as many threads as possible for the Duolingo Esperanto forum, because there's really no good way to check the forum for new posts. So I've followed as many threads as I can, and I have all the notifications come into a folder. And as of this morning, I was pushing 700 unread notifications, plus quite a number of new ones that I had read and just simply said, oh, yep, that's a legitimate question. That's a good question. And I want to wait before I actually respond to it. So the plan is to see how much I can get through. And I have no real time limit planned for today. So we could be here for a while. But so feel free to settle on in, wash the dishes, as somebody told me they did this morning. And yeah, so this is the Esperanto Variety Show, where we have new content in Esperanto and about Esperanto every Thursday. So that's what we do here. And all right, so we have Brian, saluton, estas bone vidi vin, kaj estas kiu spektas. Why is it not telling me how many people are watching? Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't tell me. Oh, one watching. All right, it must be Brian. Or maybe it's me. In any event, I have plenty of questions to answer, so here I go. All right. Okay, yep. So here's the sentence is, Yen mapo de Usono. America is the content, Usono is the United States. Learn some geography, Duolingo. I think that's a question I don't need to say anything about. A comment I don't need to say anything about. One cannot eat 3 kilograms of pineapples. It's the preservative. Canned pineapple has a really intense preservative in it because the fruit is so acidic. Yep, lots of fun facts in the forum. Oops, I meant to hit view discretion. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to hit delete because I've got nothing really to add about that. By the way, if you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the chat there. I'll swing back around and see who's commenting. If you have questions about the sentences or whatever. Signoroi kai signorinoi, bonvenon al nia organizo. Why the inverted ladies and gentlemen? Let's take a look at that one. So one thing I did this between last stream and this stream is I went through and I opened up a bunch of sentences, notifications, and deleted the ones that were obviously not questions. Signoroi kai signorinoi, bonvenon al nia organizo. Actually, in this case, I'll probably say ge signoroi. But you know what? The only answer I have to this one is, why is it inverted in English? Right? He wants to know why it's in a certain order. My question is, why do you assume it should be in the other order? Anyway, that's that. All right. Next discussion. Existas esperantistoj kiuj lernis Esperanton de siaj gepatroj. Ĉu tio veras, filo? Existas esperantistoj kiuj lernis Esperanton de siaj gepatroj. Li ne scias. Yes, do mi pensas ke tio ja eblas. Why is Esperanto speakers not accepted but only Esperantists? All right. Let's see if we put that question in context. Why is Esperanto speakers not accepted but only Esperantists in English? I would accept it. I would expect the course to accept this. I would expect the course to accept this. That response, if someone were to report it as a problem. Yep. So it's always a good idea to use the report a problem button. All right. Delete. Yeah, so this Esperanto Variety Show, I'm just back from the National Esperanto Convention, Landa Congreso, and I'm proud to say that Esperanto Variety Show is being supported by a grant from Esperanto USA and my son just interrupted me because I have a name tag sticker on my shirt from going to the school concert. As if you guys can see my school shirt anyway, my t-shirt anyway. Yeah, so where was I? Esperantic Studies Foundation and Esperanto USA. Thank you very much for supporting Esperanto Variety Show. And we also have a Patreon page, and that's why I'm able to keep on making new videos every Thursday. So those of you who are supporting the channel, thank you very much. All right, what let's see. Renardo, he has a lot of good comments. And what does he say here? Oh, this has to do with Esperanto regas, whether that means Esperanto rules. Oh, and the question was, can you say Esperanto egas? Yep. All right. If you guys are interested, you can check out that thread. Kiom da aliĝintoj estas por la kongreso? I don't understand how por achieves the above sentence. All right, let's just see if we can put that into context. Oh, he's replying to me. Look at that. All right, so I'm going to say, one of the problems is I'm trying to use a different way to. All right, so I'm going to, rather than actually type out a response, I'm just going to put in here and just paste it in there. It is 7 minutes in. Change that to 7 minutes. Okay, so what's going on here? The sentence is Kiom da aliĝintoj estas por la kongreso? Kiom da aliĝintoj estas? Right? Kiom, so by itself, Kiom da aliĝintoj estas would mean how many aliĝintoj, how many registrants are there? And right, if I were to say, I'm going to type this out here just so people watching along. Estas 3,000 aliĝintoj. Right, there are 3,000 aliĝintoj, but when we put kiom at the beginning, that has to come first because it's a question word. But that doesn't change the fact that estas in this case kind of means there is or there are. All right, so how many registrants are there for the Congress? How many people are signed up for the Congress? All right, let's read through some of this. How many signed up for the Congress? Okay, so here's CSM Rendor Having. Sounds like an attempt to match. I think he means match. Sounds like an attempt to match English. Che means more sense than por. I didn't think so. Right? I don't quite understand how por achieves the above sentence. Literally, I translate it to how many registered people are for the Congress. And I can see why he'd say that are. Right? But yeah, but it really means are there. How many registered people exist for the Congress? How many people are registered for the Congress? Kiom da aliĝintoj por la kongreso estas? Kiom da... All right, ŝi malfermas la ĉambron por eniri la ĉambron. Then I totally understand the intent of por. All right, so yeah, so he doesn't. So the question is, why are we using por and not che? And I had answered that por can mean intent or purpose, right? So these are people who are signed up. Why are they? What are they signed? Why are they signed up? What are they signed up for? They're signed up for the Congress. The purpose of them signing up is the Congress. And if we were to say che as he said it, that would answer where did they sign up, right? So that's not the right choice there. All right, so let's see what Donaldo said. I think I read this in the last live stream. I didn't know what the context was. Aliĝinto means registrants, right? People who have completed signing up for something. Aliĝinto. Another way to translate, how many registrants are there for the Congress? Yep, yeah, so it's that are there It sounds like he's missing. Unless, again, the question is, why is it por and for? Is that not just a literal translation? And I don't think it is. Well, I should say I know it's not. All right. Signore kai signore. We already answered that one. Let me see who's watching the event here. Let's see. I don't think I need this open anymore. I just needed that to launch my chat. Oh, we got people on the line here. Okay. Ho, mi pensis ke vi iel subtenis la tuta forumo. Ne, yes. Mia tiu metodo certe ne estas ideala, sed la alternativo estas ke mi simple ne respondos al demandoj. Mi havis la ideon, eble mi povas dissendi tiujn annoncojn al homoj kiuj estas helpemaj, kaj mi pripensas tion. Do eble mi povas simple trakribri la atentigojn kaj plus sendi aliajn al iu retpoŝlisto. Sed yes, tio estas alia afero kiun mi esperas solvi en la venontaj monatoj. Sed bone. Esperanto speakers estas akceptita kiam mi uzas ĝin. Yes, do tio fakte estas alia bona punkto, do eble tiu varias de frazo al frazo, sed yes, do mi vere atendas. Ankaŭ povas esti ke la demandanto havis alian eraron kiun li ne rimarkis. Bone, Karen demandas, ĉu Esperanta parolanto kaj esperantisto estas la samaj uloj. Do fakte mi dirus Esperanto streko parolanto, kaj ne Esperanta parolanto, sed parolanto de Esperanto estas Esperanto parolanto. Tiel, fakte mi typos ĝin. Esperanto streko parolanto. Kaj yes, do esperantisto verŝajne la baza signifo de esperantisto simple estas persono kiu uzas Esperanton. Ĝi ne devas esti adepto al esperantismo, ekzemple. En tiu okazo mi dirus esperantismano. Right, yeah, so the basic definition of Esperantisto is simply somebody who uses Esperanto. And we can sometimes, if we want to talk about an Esperanto fanatic or somebody who's like really into Esperanto, wears the green shirts and tries to get people to teach Esperanto in all schools and speak it in the UN and all that. That would be Esperantismo, right? And so somebody who's an adherent of that is Esperantismano. Usually isto and ismano, isto and ismano usually are synonyms, but in this case, the emphasis is definitely different. So to answer Karen's question, yes, ili estas la samaj personoj. Bonan nokton al Turmunk, Ganba. Yes, verŝajne estas malfruaj en diversaj partoj de la mondo. Kaj Brian respondis al Karen, bone. Bonan nokton, kaj Rangel diras saluton. Saluton! Yes, kaj la plano hodiaŭ estas ke mi respondos al kelkaj demandoj el la forumo. All right, actually I've got this open. I'm seriously thinking about taking a class on video editing and storytelling starting this weekend. And I think registration closes tonight, so I've got to make up my mind on that one. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. It's one of the things I'm working on. Trying to keep on always getting better at making videos and making interesting videos. So if anybody has any thoughts about that, I'd love to hear them. Otherwise, let's keep on going back to these notifications. All right. Are the biscuits sweet? All right. And yes, so ĉu la biskvitoj estas dolĉaj? Do kiam ni diras biskvito, tio estas bona respondo se ni parolos en la brita senso. That's biscuit in the British. In the US, we say cookie. So I think he's just, sometimes this is the other thing that quite honestly drives me a little crazy on the forum. Somebody just says, "Are the biscuits sweet?" And I can't tell at first glance whether he's asking a question or whether he's saying that should be accepted as an answer. So complete and clear questions are always appreciated. And we keep going. Here's a sentence. If I had more time, then I could have made a bigger website. I'm confused as to why TM is needed where it is needed and not why it is needed, just where this. All right, let's see if we can get some context there. It is now 16 minutes in here, so I'm going to just say, change this to 16 minutes. Okay, let's read the sentence and see what we can do. Okay, if I had more time, then I could have, if I had more time then, I could have made a bigger website. Yeah. I'm curious what people think this means in English. If I had more time, comma, then I could have made a bigger website. To me, if we put the comma first, then that means that we're sort of connecting the two thoughts, right? If I had more time, a general if statement, then this is what I could do. I could have made a bigger website. But with the comma afterwards, to me, that seems it changes the meaning. If I had more time then, I could have made a bigger website, right? So if I had more time in the past. All right. Let's see what the other comments are. Could have made. Povus fari. I could have made. Don't quite understand that first comment. Why is tiam needed? It's the then in the English version of the sentence. That's a good answer. Roberto Keen, number 9, has lots of good answers on the forum. All right. And then here's the latest question. I'm confused why tiam is needed where it is needed, not why it is needed. All right. Wouldn't it go after tempo? So let's try it after tempo. Se mi ne havus pli da tempo tiam, mi povus fari pli grandan retejon. I think that's probably just fine. I do think it's better, a little better, just, and this is a more stylistic question. Se mi tiam havus pli da tempo, right? It puts a little more emphasis on the then, which was exactly the problem I was having when I was trying to read the English. Is what's the correct intonation based on the punctuation in the sentence? I'm going to check here to see if there are any comments on that sentence. Apparently not. Said, fanatikuloi parolas tokipona. Yes, tokipona estu monda lingvo, kai oni parolo gin en la unuigintai nazioi, or the fakte kiel oni diras unuigintai nazioi en tokipona. Anyway, getting a little silly here. All right. Hopefully that answered Tilu Confid's question. All right. Next question. You know what? I might just leave these tabs open. I thought it would make the screen look better, but I'm finding it difficult to click on it. So let me down. Any good vortaroi you recommend? I've got to say, it's always funny when people it's funny to me when people throw Esperanto words in a sentence here. I wonder whose you is. Who's he talking to? Ĉu vi havas vortaron de Esperanto? Yep. Yep. So I'm going to, once again, I'm just going to cheat here. It's now, I'm going to say, we're going to start at 20 minutes in. All right. So the question is, what dictionaries do you recommend? And of course, we start with, bring up a new tab here, vortaro.net, which is the Esperanto Dictionary, the PIV, Plena Ilustrita Vortaro. And this is where I always go to check the meaning of words. This is where I always go to check the meaning of words. The drawback from a learner's point of view is that the definitions are in Esperanto, right? So if I wanted to know what a kato was, I would say kato es a specio de feliso de mamuloi el la subordo de rabobestoi tenata kiel mus captanta dombesto. There we go, right? So it's a one thing it does tell you, it tells you the Latin name of the animal, right? It tells you it's a mammal from the carnivore subordo, and it's kept for keeping mice. It's a domestic animal kept for catching mice. One nice thing is, though, it has examples of use. Kato miawas, caracho spiras, kato spinas, la boat vestita kato, right, Puss in Boots. So there's examples of the word in use. So this is where I always end up going. The other dictionary I like to use is comes up as annotated dictionary, or it's esperanto-me.org/dic. And this is a compilation of a couple published dictionaries, English Esperanto dictionaries, and this is only if you're going into Esperanto, right? So if we wanted to know what, I don't know, what's a good word? Leaf, right? I don't know how to say leaf in Esperanto. It'll tell us it can be either a verb or a noun, and it can give you some different suggestions of what leaf is, different possible meanings, and this is always a good place to start. Sometimes, and these are also published dictionaries, so they're relatively trustworthy. Sometimes it's worth double checking these. The third dictionary, and of these three, this is the one that I least sort of recommend, or I should say recommend the most care, especially for beginners, is Revo. I don't know the URL, so I'm going to say Revo Esperanto to find it. And it's called reta-vortaro.de. All right. So what's the word we want to look at? We want to look up kato, right? Whoops, is not what I want. I want it up here, kato. And the advantage that this has, especially for a learner's point of view, is down at the bottom, it gives you some translations. And it tells you in English it's a cat, right? So if you can't make sense of the text definition in Esperanto, then you come here and get a good sort of sense of what it might mean. There are some disadvantages to this dictionary, so I recommend using care when you use it. Check it against the other dictionaries that I mentioned. But it's nice because it's online and it's relatively complete, and it has translations into English. So there we go. What dictionaries do you recommend? There you go. All right. Fanatikuloj parolas tokiponan. Tiel estas. Any good vortaroj? One thing I want to mention is that the Fall Esperanto Gathering, or the Aŭtuna Renkontiĝo de Esperanto, I just sent in the contract. Oh, shoot, I was going to call this morning. Oh, darn it. I was going to call this morning and get my room booked. I just remembered that. I wanted to book my room before I announced it so I could get the best room. But yeah, now's the time to book a room for the Fall Esperanto Gathering, which we do every year in Lake George. And so watch for more information on that. Or if you already know what it is, and you want to go ahead and book my room before I have a chance to, look up silverbay.org and give them a call. Anyway, more information on that will be coming up in the next weeks. All right. Should mia mano doloras per ial have been accepted as a correct answer? Well, what do we think about that? I think the answer there is that Mia mano doloras per ial definitely should not have been accepted as a correct answer. I'm just going to say no, and if he needs a clarification, I hope he'll ask for one. No. No. You don't need per. All right. Of course, if you have any thoughts about any of the stuff we're talking about here, let me know. Can always circle back and take a look at some of those. All right. Should mia mano. Delete. Revilo no. Usonanoi ne portas gantoin en somero. All right. Oh, yeah, this is actually an interesting comment. I did see this one. This is another common question. People want to say, when do we say en somero and when do we say en la somero? And he said that in German, you say in summer, in la somero. So basically, the point that he's making is that sometimes articles like the and la work different in different languages. Ĉu ilia flago estas verda aŭ blua? Is this an Edo reference? Who knows? Oops, I probably don't want to zoom out this far. Thank you. I still don't understand why I shouldn't end a sentence with ancorao. All right. 27 minutes. I'm going to predict that this is going to be a good one to discuss. Don't need this open anymore. Oh, I think I still have it in my clipboard. So 27 minutes. All right, so let's see what's going on here. All right, I haven't yet received the magazine. Mi ancora ne ricevis la revuon. So let's just start right from the top. My answer, mi ne ancora ricevis la revuon, was marked wrong. Does word order matter in this case? And I answered, word order matters because adverbs generally come before the word they modify. Ancora ne ricevis. In that case, ne negates ricevis. You haven't received it. Ne ancora ricevis. Ne negates ancora. You have not still received it. Whatever not still means, this wording is confusing, leaving your listener to make a best guess as to what you really wanted to say. And somebody made a similar comment, mi ne ricevis la revuon ancora, was marked wrong. I reported it. So I said, you would never end a sentence with ancora. If you were my student and wrote the sentence to me, I would have corrected it to mi ancora ne ricevis la revuon. Thank you. I still don't understand why I shouldn't end a sentence with ancora, though. I thought Esperanto was somewhat flexible with word order. I notice you say another answer that adverbs come before the word they modify. But what if I want to say, yeah, actually, this is a good point. What if I want to say, I walk quickly? Doesn't mi marchas rapide sound better than mi rapide marchas? I actually like mi rapide marchas, but a lot of times we can put adverbs at the end. In fact, you'll find that I've said that a lot on the forums. I said, I'll say adverbs generally come before the word they modify or at the end of the sentence. In this particular case, though, ancora does not. That's not one you would find at the end. Let's dig into this a little bit. So first thing let's look up Impiv, which is vortaro.net that I was just talking about, and see if we can find some examples of ancora. Ancora. All right, so this is part of the reason why I recommend Piv or vortaro.net for learners, is it has lots of good examples, right? So here's lots of examples here. Carlo ancora vivas, right? So ancora is, he's still alive. So it's ancora is modifying vivas. Ĉu vi memoras ancora la belain knabojn kiuj dansadis? Actually, in that case, I would, that word order is a little bit different, right? But it's also an older Example from the early years of Esperanto. Marta fordonus ĉion, kio ankoraŭ restis al ŝi, por aperigi rideton sur ŝia buŝeto. Right, so she would give away everything which she still had, right, which everything that still rested, that still remained to her, everything that stayed still. So in this case, ankoraŭ is modifying restis. La lampo ankoraŭ brulis, right? So once again, it comes before the verb. It's still burning. And so I guess the short answer is you just simply don't see it here. You can look through all these examples. But why is it that way? Well, short answer is I'm not quite sure. And why can we do that with marchas rapide? That's another good question. But no, it's you never do hear it used that way. So I hope that helps. And the other thing to keep in mind is you're having your answers checked by a computer. All right. Next email. Again, the point here is I'm trying to get through as many of these email notifications as I can, and I thought I'd take some time to clean it up, but I also thought I would do it as a live stream. I want to make sure people know that the transparent language word of the day has been updated. Esperanto Variety Show has supplied new recordings and some new sentences to the transparent language word of the day, so I now feel comfortable recommending that with full confidence. So I hope you guys will search transparent language. They're on Twitter, so you can get a new word every day on Twitter, or also from their webpage. They can send it to you by email. Just wanted to mention that because that's some breaking news there. Renardo Decuno wrote on Vi laboras en la domo. I don't see how two verbs can be mixed. All right. This is one that I'll need to see the context. So let's just get right there. Why does Duolingo mix the present simple and the present continuous all the time? Oh yeah, I saw this. This person left a lot of comments. In fact, I did save them at one point to reply to a bunch of them. And I think what she's saying here, is that a she? Yeah. Got my glasses on here, right? Vi laboras en la domo, right? It could be you work in the house. It could be you are working in the house. And that's kind of the long and short of it. When we say vi laboras, it's context that lets us know whether it's you are working or you work. In English, we have to be very specific as to which it is. But Esperanto has just the one verb form. Let me see if Renardo answered the question. I don't see how verb forms can be mixed in a sentence with a simple verb. All right, I'm going to take a wild guess here. 32 minutes in. This thread. All right. Yeah, so this person, this NEVK, left a very similar comment in several threads, and so I just want to my thought here is that her concern is that Esperanto doesn't make a distinction between things like I run and I am running, and that's absolutely true. There's just one verb form for both of those in Esperanto. If that wasn't what you were asking, leave a comment in the forum and I will get a notification and come back and see if I can answer your question. But I don't think that I don't see anything being mixed up here, which is the same thing that Renardo Decuno also said. All right, thanks. All right, so now we know that context. I should pop in and see who's still watching. Do appreciate you guys watching the Esperanto Variety Show. Well, nobody's commenting. And, 8 people watching. All right. Oh, by the way, thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I got 2 thumbs up. Appreciate that. Again, if you guys have any questions, anything you want to talk about, any questions about what's going on in Esperanto, Esperanto here in Rochester, or do want to mention it's a really kind of busy last few weeks and next couple of weeks. I went to the Lana Congreso. I got a lot of footage there that I want to edit down, and I've got some things that I filmed around my house, neighborhood, and city that I'm going to be editing for you guys, putting up on Esperanto Variety Show. Then in the next week or so, I'm going to get ready to go to NOSC, which is going to be pretty cool. And this time my wife is coming with me. It'll be her first time there. I think they're expecting close to 100 participants. It's been quite some time since I've been in such a large Esperanto event. But, yep, it's the 50th anniversary of NOSC, so there'll be lots of people there. And there was a lot of talk in Boston about the World Esperanto Convention. That's going to be in Montreal next year. And that's really a big deal. And 20 years of speaking Esperanto, I've never seen a Universala Congreso in North America. So everybody who is anybody is going to be there. And so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make that work and how long I'm going to go for. There's I know I just found out that the week before is a meeting of the Internacia Ligo de Esperanto Instruistoj, and I will try to make sure I can go to that if I can make those arrangements, because I'm the vice president of the American chapter of that organization, so I should probably be at the event. And then there are excursions before and after the Universala Congreso, and if I can volunteer for that, that'd be cool too. So if anybody wants to spend a week touring around in a bus, let me know. I don't know what I'm going to volunteer for at this point or how that's going to work out, but yeah, it might be fun, wouldn't it? Okay. So why Duolingo keeps mixing up these verb tenses? That is, like I said, she posted this a few times, and I'm not going to go back and answer those anymore because I think somebody already gave her a good answer, and hopefully my answer here helped. And if not, she can clarify, and we can go from there. All right. Lerni Esperanton estas aparte facile. All right. If you guys are interested in that, you can search for that title. Google will help you, or you can also search using the Duolingo tool. It's kind of a long-winded discussion about whether Esperanto is really as easy as it's claimed to be. And there's been a lot of good opinions about that already. All right, still cleaning up lots of messages here. I'm just curious. This still says I have 591 unopened notifications. All right. No, I've got to look at ads to use my email. No sense in showing you guys the ads. All right. Robert 586546 said, Felicia virino estas bona virino. You might have it now since it's been a month, but I'll explain anyway. In Esperanto, there is no word for a. All right. I think that's a true answer. And so since he's answering somebody's question with something that makes sense, I'm just going to move on and hope that answer helped that person. Nerdy Matthew wrote on the people who are living in the United States. Should la homoj vivas en Usono be accepted? If not, what's wrong with it? All right. So it is now 40 minutes into this one. All right, let's see what we think about this question in context. Okay, let's take a look at the sentence here. The sentence is, The people are living in the United States. The translation given is La homoi lojas en usono, right? Lojas means to reside somewhere. So that so far so good. Let's see what the question is. Should la homoi vivas en usono be accepted? La homoi vivas. Whether it should be accepted, again, to me that's a question of, comes down to the opinion of the course volunteers. And again, I'm not a course volunteer. I'm just a guy on the forum like everybody else. And so they can decide whether it should be accepted. I can explain what the difference is. Lojas has to do with your residence, right? So if you live somewhere, then you use lojas. Vivi has to do with sort of being alive. And I just want to say it's not 100%, the humans are alive in the United States, right? That's not quite what it means. But if I were to say "Fishoi vivas en la aquo," right? That's where yes, my son just said "en la mar." Fishoi naĝas en la mar. Unu, du, tri, kvar. Fishoi naĝas en la mar. Kvar, kvin, ses, ok. Birdo staras sur la rok. Sekvas naŭ kaj poste dek. Fisho en la birdobek. Yes. Okay. So, thank you for that little diversion there, Sonny boy. Filo mia. Yeah. Where was I? So the homoi lojas en usono, right? So if we were to say they ili vivas en usono, right? You're thinking about where their habitat is, right? Where they're alive. You'll hear that a lot, especially because of national language influence, depending on the national language of the speaker. But the best answer is lojas, and that's what I would encourage Nerdy Matthew to answer in his future efforts in this sentence. All right. Once again, thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments, be sure to leave them in the chat. I should make sure I'm still transmitting. Sure looks like it. All right. If you can hear me, diro saluton. Just want to make sure I'm still connected. Lautiu Q spectas. Ses personoi. Whoa, what did I just do? Dang it. I clicked on something. I think I clicked on an ad. Oh. Hubbard. Live in 28 minutes. All right. Something funny is going on here. Technical difficulties. Saluton. Ni audas vin bone. All right, good. We're still going. We're still going. All right. I like this little thing with the touchscreen, but sometimes I'm just trying to move things and it clicks, which is frustrating. All right. And again, so if you guys have any questions or comments or whatever, that's fine. If you guys have to get up and stretch, that's fine too. But my plan, like I said, is just to try to get through as many of these notifications as I can today. And hopefully the information that I give here some of it will be interesting and useful to people watching. Okay, Tomo, I had an exchange with him. Oh yeah, in fact, ĉu vi taksas naĝadon je bona sporto? This is actually an interesting. I learned something in this discussion here, so I'm going to put a note in. I'm going to actually. Let me. PS paste. And 44 minutes. This is actually a very interesting discussion, and I learned something here. So let's just take a look at it. Okay, so here's the sentence. Do you consider swimming a good sport? Ĉu vi taksas naĝadon bona sporto? So this is related to a sentence which I think we talked about in the first live stream this morning. Somebody wanted to know if you're painting something yellow, why do you say flava at the end, right? But this is a similar pattern where you're estimating something, right? So you could paint something yellow, right? Or you could consider something good, right? And in both cases, the second word would be an adjective, or in this case, an adjective and a noun. Do you consider swimming a good sport? All right. So that's how that works. That's the pattern there. Nadjaron is the direct object of taxas, so you're doing that to swimming. And bonasporto is kind of what we're estimating it to be. Okay, and so Tomo, he said, I think chuvi taxas nadjaron ye bonasporto should be accepted. And he took a look at vortaro.net and found examples with the word ye in there. And so I'm like, well, that's interesting. Let's take a look. And this is where I personally learned something new. I said the only examples in PIV, which is the dictionary he was quoting at vortaro.net, the only examples with ye are for this definition. Sen la helpo de sciencaj procedoj difini la kvantan monan kotopo valoron de objekto, right? So without scientific procedures, you can define the quantity, financial, or whatever value of an object, right? So if you're estimating the value of swimming at $50, then you can use ye, but that's not the sense indicated here. So he looked through Textaro at textaro.net and found some more examples. Mi taxas lin bona knabo. Ĉu vi ne taxas min monstro, right? So those follow the same pattern in the original sentence. But he also found, sed mi taxas je nenio mian vivon. Right? So he's, once again, so he's to him, this definition looked this example looked a little different. But what I said to him was, well, if you notice, once again, just like we are, let's find the first example he looked at. La tribunalo taxis la juĝo kostojn je $10, right? So if you use, I guess what I'm getting at is when you use ye with taxi, that means you're sort of evaluating the price or value of something. So they determined the cost of the judging to be $10. And then once again, he says, mi taxas je nenio mian vivon. So mian vivon is the direct object, the thing you're estimating. And so he says, I estimate so that comes down to, I estimate my life to be worth nothing.
Oh.
Yep. Anyway, so that was something new for me. Then he asked a question about word order, and I think I kind of ignored that question because I was running out of time. Is it okay to say things like li kredas bona esperantisto sin, oni electis prezidanto ŝin, mi nomas amiko lin. Ŝin li kredas bona esperantisto, ŝin oni electis prezidanto, lin mi nomas amiko. All right, so far, the first cluster I find a little bizarre. Maybe in poetry or something, you could get away with something like that, but I would not expect to see any sentences like those in normal day-to-day Esperanto. The second set, I think, are much more likely. To me, they jump out as easily readable, and they're the sort of things that I would expect if, for special emphasis, somebody would change the word order and put the verb first. I'm sorry, the direct object first. All right. The last variant, bona esperantisto li kredis sin. Prezidanto oni elektis ŝin, amiko mi nomas lin. Yeah, in a contrived context where, somebody said, right? Kio li kredis sin kio? Right? Bona esperantisto li kredis sin, right? So I kind of imagine that, but it seems like a little bit of a stretch. But that middle cluster there, I think these are very likely. Sin li kredas bona esperantisto, ŝin oni elektis prezidanto, lin mi nomas bona amiko. Oh yes, tiu Carlo, lin mi nomas amiko, right? Yeah, so that's what I say there. Ĉu vi demandus kia vi taksas tion? Nu, fakte tio estas bona demando. Mi ne scias, do kia vi taksas kiel? All right, you know what? I'm going to see if I can find an answer to that question. I don't know the answer to that question. The question is which, this is how I would restate Lance's question. If you wanted to say, how would you estimate that? Kia vi taksas lin? Kiel? So let's go to Textaro. And Textaro is a corpus of texts in Esperanto. I'm going to check mark this box here. Atenti uskletson, which means pay attention to capital letters. I'm going to start with a blank. Look for a capital K. And then what do I want to do? K-I. And then a character. And then an optional character. And then another optional and another character, and then the letter I, tax, and then a verb ending. Let's see if this comes up with anything. This is one of those things that sometimes I have to do a few times to get to come out right. And I'll admit that when I'm on a live stream, I feel a little pressure, and sometimes I feel like I'm rushing through this here. All right, so that should pull up Kio, Kion, Kia, and Kial, right? Kiel, it should pull up all those words, and it should pull up me, vi, she, task. Whoops, I spelled it wrong, so I gotta change it. It's taxi. Try again. All right. So let's see here. I mentioned that I'm just coming back from the Landa Congreso. I mentioned that word of the day is once again live with new recordings. So thank you to Transparent Language for hosting that and for encouraging me to get that project out there. All right. So kiel vi taksas ŝin el intelekta vidpunkto. So that was one of my thoughts. Kiel. Oh, here's another bunch of, in La Ondo de Esperanto, kiel vi taksas la signifon de la documento. Vi taksas ĝin. Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So, and I don't know the answer to this one, but I immediately want to know if you're asking kiel, why aren't we not responding mi taksas ĝin bone and not bona? But anyway, hopefully that answered Lance's question. Yes, Mateo, dankon pro via correcto. Mi bedaŭrinde ne vidis vian komenton ĝis nun, sed yes, mi devis korekti tion. Now, somebody else is talking about Textaro. Here's the sentence. Mia onklo preferas grekajn vinojn al ĉiaj aliaj. Oh yeah. Let's take a look at this thread. I don't think I have a lot to add to it because I think I've already answered, which is why I'm getting notifications. Oh, interesting. He's replying to me. I didn't even know it. Well, and I will put my standard little blip in here so he knows that we're talking about him. Hello, Midnight, by the way. Always enjoy seeing his or her comments on the on the forum there. It's 54 minutes. All right. So let me make sure that what I said. I discussed this thread. That's not his question. All right. So here. All right. Let's start at the top here. Mia onklo preferas grekajn vinojn al ĉiaj aliaj. So the comments are along the lines of whether we say al or ol. And so I wrote al is fine here. This was a year ago that I wrote this. And then later on I wrote, you'll see both. See examples in the PIV. Again, more reason why you should check vortaro.net. When looking, even as a beginner, you can at least see examples. I said his question was, he wanted to say, pli ol. Mi preferas grekajn vinojn pli ol ĉiajn aliajn. Right? But to me, preferi has to do with when you're comparing two things. You prefer one thing to another. I don't prefer this 5% and I prefer this 10%, right? It's not like you like it more. There's a difference. Preferi has to do already has to do with comparison. So pli doesn't really add anything there. So that's why I said that. But then Hello Midnight says, from what I can tell from a brief glance through Textaro, older works use al and ol interchangeably, but the newer ones prefer ol. Yeah. The PMEG, which is Bertilo's work, says any kind of preposition is acceptable, but suggests using ol or anstatao with the word preferi and using al with the noun prefero. Yep. So I can't disagree with that. I'm not going to come out and say that the Duolingo course is wrong, and he's probably quite right in terms of the timing of when it was used. But basically, I think you can use one or the other, and I wouldn't make a big deal about it either way. I make a big deal about a lot of things. People who know me can tell you that, but I don't see a big deal between al and ol here. You'll see both, and they both have historical precedent as well. They both seem to make sense. Okay. La viro venas el la oficejo. Wouldn't laboras work too? I'm going to need the context for that one. I'm waiting for that. I will. Yep. Just see who's watching. Ooh, 5 likes. Dankon por la ŝatoj, homoj. Wouldn't laboras work too? I like this one here. J. Lee B says, my autocorrect wrote my answer wrong. Somebody gave her a downvote. We'll vote her back up to 0. It's silly to downvote it. Wouldn't laboras work too? All right, so la viro, what's he trying to go for? There's a lot of discussion here in this thread. Wow, sure, a lot of discussion in this thread. The man is coming from the office. All right, so coming from the office has nothing to do with working in the office. So I'm going to put a note here, say, I'm going to guess that I've been talking about this already for a minute and a half, and put this here. Say, I don't think so. ... What are you trying to say? Question mark. All right, and we got to change that to, I want to say 58 minutes, 57, 58. Yeah, so, yeah, laboras means work, so there's nothing to do with work, and I come from the office does not mean that I work in an office. So if you're trying to say something different, then we could talk about that, but I don't see why you would use laboras here. All right. So I think I'm going to have to get more coffee. Actually, I'm out of coffee. Now what do I do? Eba mi faru plita kafo. Yep, still have a ton of notifications here. 594. Oh gosh, I've gotten through more than 70 notifications today. That's probably, you know what? I think I'm going to give up at this point. I'm out of steam, quite honestly. And I'm sure you guys are too. Appreciate you guys sticking with me. So I'm just going to go through a few more things here, and then we'll wrap it up. I want to make sure I thank the patrons who keep this channel going. And Shano, of course. And it's been a while since I've thanked the patrons out loud. And I just completely forgot the name of my new patron. It starts with a Y. Anyway, make sure that they get mentioned in the apologize for that. Make sure they get mentioned in the discussion as well. I'm looking to use the Patreon money this month to take a course called the Creative Edit. Haven't quite decided whether I'm going to be able to fit it in my schedule, and I really want to do it though, and I've got to decide by tonight. I think the registration's about to close. All right, let's see what Roberto says here. This is actually, you know what? I am going to say this. I'm not going to put a link in the discussion, but this person says, "Why was my comment so downvoted?" And you look at the comment, and it's got foul language in it, and even his cleaned up version is a little bit nutty here. And I just, why was this so downvoted? Someone answer my question. And so now this one's downvoted 5 votes. And so Roberto Keen now, he says, probably because you cursed in your title, but he says, so the question was, oh shoot, it's kind of hard to answer without the question, and quite honestly I don't want to click on it because it's, well, I'm going to do it. All right. We're going to get this video age restricted. Whoops, I got it. But let me tell you, this is one of the, and this is just life online, I know that, but anyway. Why the blank does Duolingo keep saying multa da? It makes no damn sense. Okay, there's the multa da. All right. So anyway, let me see where I got into it. So I sort of looked at this question. I tried to rephrase it. What is the role of da in the sentence mi trinkis multa da aquo? Answer. As you probably know, mi trinkis multe means I drank a lot. But what did you drink a lot of? It turns out that da is a preposition used to connect quantities to the substance we're measuring. We don't really have a word like that in English, but occasionally it can be translated of. Most of the time, though, you won't see a word-for-word translation of it. Mi trinkis multa da aquo. I drank a lot of water. So he clarified his question. No, my question is why the adverb ending is on the root mult, because that makes no sense. Right, so I don't know whether he means it this way, but certainly when somebody says that something makes no sense, that kind of makes you think, all right, he's not going to accept the answer, right? I don't understand it yet, right? Could somebody help me understand this? It certainly seems a lot more constructive. Anyway, so I said, but it does make sense. Adverbs answer how, where, when, condition, or reason. How much water? Adverb. And he said, that is not a good definition of adverb, because what an adverb does is modify a verb. I have some problems with your example, because in English there's no adverb. And the closest thing to an adverb in the translation is kiom. In almost all cases, om correlatives are treated as nouns? Well, don't know if kiom to me is an adverb. Anyway, measuring word. But anyway, so this is my answer to him. I just have to say, this is probably why your question was downvoted. It doesn't make sense, doesn't give people the sense that you're interested in the answer. And then I quoted Oxford Dictionary. An adverb is a word or phrase that modifies or qualifies an adjective, verb, or other adjective or word group expressing relation, time, place, circumstance, manner, cause, degree, etc. And so he wrote back, I don't know where you got this definition from, but I speak 2 languages. All right, so my point is, sometimes you run into people here that ask questions and they're not interested in the answer. They just really feel like they're arguing. And I try to look at it the best way possible and say, you know, that person really just wants to learn, and it just sounds this way on this side of the screen. But anyway, so Roberto also took a crack at answering his question. So I told him, I said, from the very first post, he's indicated that he's more interested in arguing and learning. In my replies to this thread, I tried to model a constructive way of answering a question. I paraphrased Schoolhouse Rock, and I quoted the Oxford Pocket English Dictionary. Frankly, Roberto, I don't know why you're spending any more time on this. Anyway, so speaking of not spending more time on this, I hope I do have the pleasure of being able to answer a lot more questions. And so it's nice to be able to have these positive interactions. I'm glad you guys were here. Mateo says, mi malamas kiam autocorrect provas angligi mian Esperanton. Yes, fakte, tio estas parte pro tio, ke mi vere ne ŝatas esperantumi per mia poŝtelefono. Estas 2 problemoj. La unua estas ke ĝi ofte ŝanĝas la vortojn al anglaj vortoj, kaj la alia afero estas ke la klavaro estas vere malgranda. Do se vi kontaktas min per apo, per afero kio mi atingas per apo, then I'm going to probably write back in English. All right, so John Hayes said something here. This is interesting. In the question asked, multe refers to quantity drank, not what was drank. Yeah, in fact, that was the other thing that I said in the discussion, right? If I say you drink a lot of water, and you look up a lot in the dictionary, it mentions it as it's an adverb. It tells you how much water you drank. So, you know, I think there's certainly some learning to be had there. I don't mean to end on such a sour note, but I think if somebody has the right sort of attitude and answers those questions that way. All right. Well, this was not as much of a marathon as I'd hoped for, but I got through 70 or so notifications, plus who knows how many. There were quite a few of those questions I'd actually already read. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys can, actually, you know what, let me do this. So if you guys who are still watching here, you guys seem to know a little bit about Esperanto. I'm just going to point out that the one good thing that you guys can do that I would love to see more sort of progressing Esperantists doing, if you come out here to the forum and go to Esperanto and go to sentences, this is one way to see all new threads. And right, so we see, it's quite a few pages with just one comment in there, and occasionally they're like smart answers. Somebody's trying to be funny, but when there's only one comment, quite often it's a question, right? So here's somebody with a question, and quite honestly, I'm not going to get to this. I'm not going to get to this today. I'm not going to get to this anytime soon. So if you guys know the answer to this question, go out there on the forum and answer it. These people are interested in learning Esperanto, and they could really use your help. If you try to answer a question and you're not sure, feel free to reach out to me one way or another and say, hey, there's this interesting question on the forum that I don't know how to answer, and I'd love to come in and answer that question for a bunch of you guys. So, yeah, let's end on that note. So, yeah, keep on learning, everybody, and I will see you in another week or so. All right. Ci servirò.